Hello, everybody. Oh, wow, backlit. How do I do this? Maybe I should move the setup a little bit. Hope everybody's good. It's in Canada. I'm in Canada, so I'm cold. I got a hat on. I'm staying at my friend's place, so I don't actually know how to control the power, the heat in here. Let me think. What's going to be a better way to do this? I'm used to doing this at night when there's not a problem with being backlit. I'll turn this over here. Oh, I got some music on here. Okay. So how's everybody doing? Crazy days. Good to see all the names checking in. Wasn't sure who was going to show up for a midday meditation here. You guys know Brittany Howard? So good. Stay high. Stay high. The good kind of high. Let's turn this off. Music's definitely one of the tools that I'm using to keep my sanity. I'd be curious to hear what other people's tools are. I'm just writing a piece right now called Dynamic Care. That's sort of all about the kind of my thinking on the kind of main way to how to think about how to care for ourselves and each other in this time, like the main kind of like areas of care, which I see as kind of this kind of care that's about improving the self. So, you know, doing yoga in the backyard and freaking learning to paint and kind of keeping dynamic and alive to our edge during this time. And then the sort of part of care that's about accepting the self, that's like chilling out and doing nothing, like we're going to do here. Well, this might be a kind of crossover, a couple kinds of care. But basically just accepting your limits, sleeping in, resting, playing with your dog, watching Netflix, whatever, the stuff that's not about improvement, that's about giving yourself a break. And then there's the kinds of care that's externally oriented to the world. Thinking about how helpful it is for me to be thinking about you guys, to think about, okay, what can I offer in terms of meditation? What can I do? And I think this is just important for everybody. You know, this is kind of this incredible opportunity for creative service, where we can kind of think about what we can offer out there, whether it's like impromptu Zoom dance parties or neighborhood cleanup things with masks at a social distance, you know, helping out your neighbors. And then finally, the piece around accepting the world, like, which is really about listening, kind of, what are we learning from this present moment? You know, what is it showing us? What do we need to get really quiet, and how do we need to get really quiet and just listen to what's happening? Because a lot of things are changing. So yeah, so people are putting some stuff around the side, like what you're doing. Structure is so important. You know, for me, this is like an old teaching for me, because I have the ADD and I also have some of the mood dysregulation. I've had to learn this the hard way, that because I work for myself, you know, I don't have a place to go to during the day. So I've had to learn that structure is what keeps me sane. Like having a specific wake up time, you know, knowing what I'm going to do when I wake up. Okay, I'm going to go for a run, or I'm going to go and do some physical activity, and then I'm going to go do work. And then I'm going to, like, I need to get that stuff structured in. And some people are really good at structure. They could just do it naturally. I'm not very good. I have to really work at it. So you might need help creating a structure with people who you know in your posse who are good. Anyway, I just jumped right into it here. I'm excited to do this, and I love hearing what people are up to over here. And so meditation, of course, plays a massive part in this. I mean, it's sort of this unprecedented moment for the world to find out about meditation if it doesn't already know. And I mean, when I say meditation, I mean that in the broadest way. Meditation as a tool for rest, for self-regulation, for deeply accepting ourselves and resetting. and finding some peace in the moment. But also a dynamic tool for meeting these problems, for meeting our own challenges, our own reactivity, for deliberately working on our empathy, our care. Um, it's just an incredible training, and we have the time. Now it's like it's here. It's like we're inside. We may as well do. We have to do something, so we may as well do some meditation as well. So, um, yeah, and I've written about structure. I wrote a piece for the 10% Happier actually about structure, but I think I'll put it up on my website too. But I'm going to be talking more about this in the weeks to come, and I'll probably talk about this on the 10% Happier live stream too. And there's so much that we can, so much like a broader view of practice can help us with right now, outside of just the meditation view, but this bigger view of how we keep ourselves sane and how we take care of each other. So um, I'm happy you guys are here. You're taking care of me, giving me a purpose. And so now let's take care of each other. We'll do a short meditation. I'm thinking maybe 20 minutes or so, just kind of a midday reset to get ourselves centered, present, and available for whatever's going to come next. And then if there's a few questions, I might answer those. I'm not quite sure yet if we're going to archive these like we do the other ones. Maybe we will. But we'll figure that out as we go. All being improvised here. And feel free if you got a question or you want to share something about what practices are helping you, anything about structure, that would be sweet. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, and welcome everybody from Europe who may be here. Normally, this doesn't get a chance to. It's harder because we've been doing it at 8 o'clock. You know, for Europeans, it's the middle of the night, so we get a few like late night night owls who tune in. But this is also part of the reason we kind of do it during the day, so that other people can get a chance to join the community. So let's do it. Okay, so let's start by taking a few deep breaths. As always, if you have your go-to practice, I'm always welcome to do that, or you can follow along with these prompts. I like to start with a few deep breaths. The inhale is sort of like my opportunity to notice that I'm seated, that I'm connected to the ground, and kind of draw up, metaphorical energy from the ground, whatever you want to call it. I just imagine I'm breathing up, and it's sort of like I'm trying to resource myself, kind of feel that solidness and strength in my body, and stretch up the spine. There's that quality of like kind of strength and self-possession that we find in the elevated spine. And then the exhale, that's the settling, the relaxing. So just deliberately taking a moment to breathe out any tension. Maybe you're feeling tense before this, or maybe my excited babble got you worked up. But the idea here is to just breathe out and sort of soften the shoulders and the forehead and the cheeks and the jaw. And be deliberate here. It's like, okay, actually notice your face. Can you make it a little looser, like your jaw, kind of open it up, and around the eyes, same with the throat, the shoulders, like deliberately let them kind of come back. Make sure the hands are sort of open, that they're not tight. So what happens in the body happens in the mind. If we're holding tension in the body, we tend to have more thinking and more inner tension. But if we can let our body relax, then the mind will follow eventually. It's on a bit of a delay. So as we're breathing out, we're also arriving right here in the now of your body, its seat on this exact place on the planet. You're like a local node of awareness, and local node of the moment happening right there in your body, your room, your apartment, wherever you are. So just landing there, taking a moment to check in with the full 360 surround. So the sounds that may be there, the sensations in the body, what you brought with you today, maybe agitation or calm or lots of thinking or relaxation. And we welcome it all. And we're realists. So we begin with where we are, where your environment is. There's no point in getting in a big battle about it. This is the accept self, accept world part of the practice. And we do this because partly it saves energy, energy that we might have used fighting things. We can free up for caring for ourselves. And it also frees up suffering. So much suffering comes from wishing things were other than they were. This realist stance is saying, how I feel is how things are. The sounds in my environment are how things are. I'm going to see what happens if I practice allowing those to all be there. So this can be where you stay, just a stance of allowing, kind of just enjoying your own company, just being. Or if you want a little more structure, then definitely invite you to work with a particular home base. Or maybe one that you already know you kind of like. Some people love the sensation of the breath, or they like working with the air, feeling of air on their skin, or maybe there's a sound of like a fan or a vent that you can just listen to that you kind of get into. People also do stuff like they might visualize a ball of light or they have a little mantra inside. I mean, there's lots of different home bases you can use. The idea is to choose something kind of uncomplicated, accessible, simple, and then just stay with it for a while. So I'll cool out my guidance for a bit and let's just do that. Good. So the foundation here is this baseline of acceptance, of rest, of letting ourselves sit inside our life, practicing this repose, this trust that your own body will hold you, the ground will hold you. And it's like there's layers and layers and layers of distrust that we sometimes have to get through to really arrive. And that's the container, this community, this meditation, that body. And then within that, there may also be this commitment to a home base. So lightly paying attention to some thing in your experience that, some simple thing that you kind of find comforting or that you're drawn to, and it doesn't have to be exotic. It's all about being cool with the simpleness of it. And then your mind wanders and you come back and you kind of practice getting into this home base, practice enjoying it, enjoying the break. And always with this sort of good natured attitude like, oh, yeah, you get distracted, no big deal, no surprise. It's the human condition. Back to the home base. Good. There's always this quality of patience too, not in any rush. And one of the tricks to working with a home base is to kind of bring this deliberate delicacy into the way we pay attention. So it's like you get still, and in the still way, delicately notice some soft part of the sensation or the sound. There's something about that kind of concentrates us, that lets us kind of move into this quieter place. It's just something to explore. Good. If you kind of zoned out there or you're starting to drift, just kind of notice that. Come back to your home base, kind of committing to this simple, subtle thing in your experience, kind of getting into it. And that may include the big, broad home base of your own being. Maybe you're just sitting and existing. You're absolutely cool with that. And that's a good place to be too. Being is a good place to be. Okay, good. So finish with a little loving kindness practice. My ideas about loving kindness have changed a lot in the past few years. I like it a lot as a practice, and especially when I kind of realize that it's not about creating some kind of sentimental effect. It's more like a recognition of being connected to people. It's the practice of feeling connected. And in the feeling connected, all kinds of stuff can emerge. But what matters is that we're practicing feeling connected. So think about someone you're connected to right now. Person is in your life. And just you kind of bring them in your mind's eye. And then we have this sort of crisp intention to appreciate them, want the best for them. And I just kind of picture them. Maybe they're smiling and I just be happy, maybe be healthy. But really, underneath that, I'm thinking, we're connected. This is a human being or an animal or a kid who, in this life, is there right up against you. So your fates are intertwined. So, who else are your fates intertwined with? Picture somebody else, maybe someone you know well or someone you don't know that well. Nevertheless, they've bumped up against your orbit. And this sort of acknowledgement of that person. But mostly we're just sort of marveling the fact that this person's in our life at all. And we can go on from here. So just choose someone else. Feel that connection, that real connection. And then we practice this generosity. Once the connection's there, we just send some generosity through there. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you be centered and sane. And then the next person, sending out our, sort of sending our consciousness through this web of connections that are already there, noticing it, drawing in support from it. In some practices, actually, I lead this sometimes. You can, as you breathe in, it's like you breathe in support from that web, from that network. Imagine it going right into your heart. Imagine it girding your nervous system, like taking in all that connectivity juice. And then when you breathe out, you send your, like a wave of love out through the grid, through the matrix. And it's like keeping that understanding of connection in the back of your head is huge support in these times, huge support. You're breathing in your thanks, breathing in all that support, and then breathing out your care through the network. May you be well, may you be safe, may you be healthy. It's kind of like you're breathing in those waters and breathing out. That's the oxygen you breathe. And now picture yourself right in the middle of that network, this little node in the center. And of course, you want that for yourself too. No double standards. May I be safe. May I be healthy, happy. Knowing that the more present, the more connected and compassionate you are, the more you'll be able to spread that around, the more other people will. That's the secret virus, the subtle virus of our care, our presence, our practice. The good virus. We need another metaphor. Okay, may all of us be that way. Nice. Humanity's bow. Mhm. Very grateful for you guys. Thank you. Thanks to this community. We're just getting more connected, more soulful. It's starting to get real, even more than it was before. So I'm glad we're going to be able to check in twice a week. I love seeing people's names over here. I hope this practice is helpful. Super grateful for all the support on this end. I mean, Andrew is phenomenal, the work he does, kind of holding space over on the comments section, making sure everybody feels connected, doing all this stuff in the background. He takes these things and edits them afterwards and puts in the text, and basically like a part-time job that gets paid almost nothing for. We're hoping to get a grant to pay him more. And then there's Lily, does a ton of stuff in the background. My manager, there's Milen. Milen is like insane how much stuff she does. I would lose my mind if it wasn't for her kind of staying in my inbox, organizing shit. And all you guys showing up. Yeah. I really like the idea of, I don't know, I'm going to put this out to my team. Maybe there's a way to think twice a week is cool. Maybe we can do it even more often. From my perspective, when I guide live, I like to try to get other people to lead, to guide, because I'm all about kind of like removing the top down thing. So I'm thinking with this, maybe there's a way to definitely get Andrew and Lily to lead occasionally. I got Sarah too, but wondering if there's a way maybe even to get people in the community to guide a short sit so we can kind of see each other, and sort of a tech thing, but we can figure it out. Good to see everybody. Anyway, I'm putting it out there. Yeah, Tristan too. Tristan's taking a break, Andrew. So, but he's been a big help. Hmm. Yeah, Brenda's saying Zoom. Yeah, maybe there's a way through Zoom to just do a kind of bare bones sit on other days. I don't know. We'll check into it. If you have ideas that are easy, I mean, for us, it's just about the work of implementing it. Um, it's not like it's wonderful to do and it takes time. So if you guys have ideas of ways in which it can happen, or someone in the community can take on maybe doing some Zooms or something. I don't know. If we decide, we'll talk together about what if there can be um, more sits. If people would do it, would people do more than 2 sits a week? I mean, um, yeah, we could set something up. So there's some people saying yes to Zoom, yes to some of these ideas. So um, feel free to send me a note if you got ideas, uh, because I think this group is only going to get bigger too. So yes for more than two for some people. Okay, well, let's see what we can figure out. I'm gonna go. I gotta go talk to Calm. Supposed to have a conversation with them, but maybe doing some more work for them. Um, Nick's asking about the structure piece. Yeah. Uh, Lily, let's make a post for the website about the structure piece. In the meantime, I can send you if you email me, I'll send you a link. It's actually on the 10% happier blog. There's a piece. Andrew can probably post it in the notes afterwards, or I'll send it to Andrew. But I think they cut it down so it's not the full thing. All right, guys. Peace and love and unity. Stay sane. Do your calisthenics. Figure out your service mission. I'll see you guys here Sunday night, if not before. Also, in that email I sent, I have a bunch of other resources. If you saw it about there's a daily thing from coming up at 3 o'clock from 10% Happier. That's something you can do, and I think pretty much every teacher is starting to do this. So there's other things. Oh yeah, Leonard Andrew just posted something about the structure. Okay, guys, ciao.